The official team, there it is, shows Brian Burns at full back, but could John Clark pick up Canavan? And how will Aidan O'Prey fare at centre half back on his championship debut? And the half forwards, will Michael Walsh and Benny Coulter play to their full potential, or will Shane King be called from the bench? Tyrone, I can confirm, have a change at full back. Dermot Carlin, number 17, is in for Collie Holmes. Collie Holmes injured, I think it was a heel injury. He's out. The young fella Carlin, who would have played for CBS only last year, so he's only about 19. I think he was our captain last year. Excellent defender. We don't really think he's going to stay at full back, but he is definitely in. There are also changes at midfield from the Antrim game. Cormac McAnallen and Sean Cavan are returning. Kevin Hughes moves into the forwards, at least on paper. That's in place of the injured Stephen O'Neill, and Jared Cavlin replaces Mark Hart.
The referee of today's game is Aidan Mangan from Kerry. He's made the long trip up from the Austin Stacks Club in Tralee. He refereed this year the Nation Dublin Leinster Championship game and also the All-Ireland Under-21 final between Tyrone and Mayo. Cormac McAnallen taking up his position alongside Sean Kavanagh. Facing them will be the down captain Sean Ward and Gregory McCarthy. So all eyes in the centre of the pitch, the 2003 Ulster Championship final between the red-hot favourites Tyrone and Down, who are revelling in the role as underdogs, is about to get underway. Referee checks his watch, the ball goes in, and it immediately falls back into the safe hands of the Tyrone half-back line. Declan McCrossan got the first touch as the ball is played in towards Andy McGinley. Ergel Kieran Mann is being pursued by Brian Burns, and now it's given out to Mulligan. Remember his goal in 10 seconds against Down. Michael McVeigh made sure that he didn't do it against Down. Perfect start for Tyrone. Great boost for Michael McVeigh. Down doing well to keep that ball in. Young Liam Doyle fouled in the process. Almost an explosive start.
This could have been the start that Tyrone were looking for, with Mulligan coming in, probably shot at savable height. Alan Malloy, who's back marking him, left in his wake. A few changes in the Down defence. They've elected to put Martin Cole on Peter Canavan and Alan Malloy on Owen Mulligan.
So the substitutes playing their part. Dermot Carlin, captain of last year's Tyrone minor side, first to get that ball. Brian Duher plays it crossfield. Benny Coulter couldn't get it. A foul on Alan Malloy, or should I say John Clark. Clark playing left half back. Aidan Mangan in very quickly to settle things down.
Chris Lawn playing at full back, Jimmy, has moved into the edge of the square to mark Dan Gordon. Ryan McManaman and Dermot Carlin have swapped wings. Carlin's picking up Walsh in that corner, who's actually moved into the corner, and Ryan McManaman's over marking Ronan Murtagh. So that's the man-to-man marking that both teams have elected to go with, and now it's a case of who can use the ball best in these early exchanges.
So much for not doing any homework before the game. I'm sure both teams' play has been analysed incessantly by their respective opposing managers, as Ronan Murtagh from Ballyholland, one of 5 members of the Down All-Ireland winning minor side of 1999 in this forward line, and that's a very young forward line, Peter.
Yes, it is, but that was a very experienced run that he made there, Jimmy. Experienced from the point of view that he was always looking to buy the foul.
Free will be taken by Gregory McCarthy. Didn't follow the old maxim of the far post. Very difficult free to start off with, about 10 metres into the sideline. Hoped it would bend in, but unfortunately for Gregory and for Down, it didn't. Tyrone welcoming back today to the middle of the field Sean Kavanagh. John Devine recovered from his injury sustained in the semi-final against Antrim. Beautiful take. What a catch by Benny Coulter. With a Tyrone player down injured, but as Coulter plays it in toward Walsh in the full forward line. Walsh holds it, plays it inside, but the ever alert Brian McManaman kept an eye on him. That was a good catch by young Coulter.
Yes, that's something like Down need from Benny Coulter. He has played in fits and starts in the games so far in the championship, but we know him to be a player of great potential. So he's going to have to reproduce that form time and time again today.
Tyrone played short. A foul on Brian McGuigan. Ryan McManaman plays it towards Mulligan. Canavan slips his marker. His clubmate Andy McGinley has it inside, gives it back to his captain Canavan. Canavan turns on the right foot. 3 minutes and 45 seconds into the first half. Tyrone's captain Peter Canavan puts Tyrone into the lead.
Even at this early stage, Jimmy, it appears that the down full back line is struggling. Brian Burns is struggling on Andy McGinley, who has been, in a couple of attacks that Tyrone have had, he has been involved in. That was a great ball into Peter Canavan. Malloy was skinned by Mulligan for the first Tyrone attack. It's looking a bit ominous in there. It comes back to that theory of, if plenty of ball goes into the Tyrone forward line, they're going to score loads. Have to stop quality ball get into them.
Peter Canavan's 164th point in championship football. Certainly a leader of Tyrone from way back in his debut in the early 90s. As Aidan O'Crea has all the time in the world to get that ball. Plays it into Gordon in the full forward line. Down goes Gordon. Chris Lawn looks rather bemused, but if he watches the video as we're about to.
It was clumsy and careless. That hand in first of all, the other hand is back, and at this level you touch a player in the back and you're in trouble. Now you can shepherd him, you can hit him hard, but you can't touch him in the back or pull his jersey.
Liam Doyle kicks it high, brings the sides level, and there'll be a smile on Doyle's road for that score.
And funny, this was made by Dan Gordon, who came off Chris Lawn very, very easily, a couple of yards in front. Chris arrived late and felt he had a foul on him. Paddy O'Rourke now will be pleased with that. Good ball in, and Gordon, who spluttered a bit against Fermanagh, possibly because of an injury, has started well here.
Paddy O'Rourke and Greg Blaney and his fellow selectors looking on, taking careful note of all the little movements both on and off the ball. John Devine, huge kick way into the opposition's half, collected there by Declan McCrossan. Excellent block. It's still Tyrone moving forward again. The long driven ball in towards Canavan. Foul surely. Certainly was. Peter Canavan protests his innocence, but I think that one was also clear cut.
Yes, that was clear cut, but again, just looking here, the follow up to this, the first man in on the break, if Canavan hadn't have been judged to have fouled him, the first man in on the break was Cormac McAnallen. Both the down midfielders, McCartan and Sean Ward, would need to realise that both McAnallen and Kavanagh are going to get forward.
Poulter being fouled by Conor Gormley. Referee asked him to move back to where the foul was committed, and you can see Tyrone's physical presence even at the very early stage of the game.
Yes, well, on paper Down should be the stronger team, but Tyrone they're aggressive in the tackles, I mean.
Sideline ball, thanks to that punch by Chris Lawn, as Dan Gordon thought of the early one. He's going to leave it to Gregor McCartan. Gordon, he resumes his position in around the square. Gregor McCartan is not getting very easy opportunities here to try and get his name on the scoreboard. He had a free a few moments ago about 10 metres out. Now he's directly on the sideline, forced to kick it in to the far side and allowed to run harmlessly wide by Philip Jordan. Down's second wide. Greg McCartan heading back out into the middle of the field, and there's no doubt that the form of McCartan has been instrumental in Down's progress this year.
Yes, but he's had a very quiet 7 minutes in this game so far, Jimmy. Middle of the field will probably be dominated by the break ball.
Easy catch, all on his own by Sean Kavanagh. Given back into McCrossan. McCrossan intended to give it to his wing half, but instead is Down with Poulter. Plenty of movement inside. Still Down, get possession. Ball appeared to be touching the ground, and it runs over the sideline. Promising little move for Down, but that's twice they've been through, and it's the final pass that's just letting them down.
Yes, that came about from poor passing from Tyrone initially, but all credit to Declan McCrossan, who was responsible for the initial mistake. He got back and somehow or other managed to deflect the danger over the sideline.
And round the square it goes. Dan Gordon, all 6'4" of them, gets it, loses it. Chris Lawn has it. The experience of Lawn.
Tyrone have proved themselves very adept over this last few years, Jimmy, at that sort of smother tackling. If the ball is in there and there are 2 or 3 defenders about, they really get round the player, don't allow him to play the ball, don't foul him, and actually smother him.
Come on, down.
Midfield not really imposing itself, as McCrossan is certainly the busiest of the half-backs at the moment. Sees that long ball driven in towards end of McGinley. McGinley pursued by Burns. McGinley gets it up, held up by the Bransford man. A sensible ball inside, and all on his own is Sean Kavanagh. Turns, twists, uses a sensible option, and the young man who had such a great game in the replay against Derry when he scored 3 points gets his first point of the Ulster final.
Enda McGinley's not the quickest Tyrone forward, and yet he has really given Brian Burns a torrid time. And again, that's the point I was making about these Tyrone midfielders being attack-minded. Kavanagh all on his own in there, and he had been for a couple of seconds, but showed a great cool head there for such a young player.
Like you heard, I'm sure quite pleased with how everything is progressing here. 10 minutes into the Ulster Championship, a man who has brought minor and under 21 titles to Tyrone, endeavouring to bring the Anglo-Celt as Sean Kavanagh gets his hand to it. Collected by Doyle, who's moved back in around the midfield area and fed into Michael Walsh. Walsh got a little bit of room. It spun off the outside of the right foot and wide.
Well, I mentioned earlier on that Down are expecting big things from Benny Coulter today, or maybe possibly need big things from Benny Coulter. The same could be said of Michael Walsh. I'm just not sure that corner forward is his best position. He's probably better out where he can use his head and his ball winning ability and his passing ability to create scores for other people. He's not a deadly finisher.
Certainly renowned as a prodigious talent with the Abbey and with his club Mayo Bridge, where he has won every possible medal underage right through the senior championship. The sun peeps out at Clones as Down mount yet another attack. 3 wides, while Tyrone have yet to register anything on that score. Dan Gordon turns and drives over, the best score of the game so far. Quite simple, the ball was picked up in the middle of the field by McCartan, fed in and then driven over.
Yes, break ball one in the middle of the field. It was a great ball into Dan Gordon, but he romped out onto it in front of Chris Lawn, had time to turn, steady himself, and a great shot over the bar. There's the left-footed drill pass into the space. Gordon had come off his man, and really first class full forward play.
Dan Gordon's first championship score, so the young 19-year-old and former college's all-star from St Patrick's in Downpatrick will certainly remember that one, as Coulter collects it, forced to give it back again. Tyrone supporters felt they'd been touched on the ground by Gregory McCartan, but Down playing it close, and Tyrone very quickly coming in and attempting to close them down. Alan Malloy, now all of those passes has seen that the ball has been moved forward about 10 yards and it's now eventually driven in. Walsh did well to collect it, turned and had the vision to feel it, the man on the run. That was Ronan Murda. The angle isn't great. He's being closed down by McManaman. Tries to get inside and overcarried the ball, and that's another one to the Tyrone defence.
Yes, but Michael Walsh got given the pass much too easily, and then good defending, really good defending. Didn't allow Ronan Murda the inside, or to turn outside as he had hoped. Forced him inside, and he ran out of room and ran out of steps. Dr.
Martin Walshin's shot, a man who's been associated with every winning Down team since 1959. Tremendous record. Brian McGuckin keeps Tyrone moving forward, taken out of it, but the referee wisely plays on, but not the second time when Sean Kavanagh was fouled.
Well, that's another way of stopping quality ball, Jimmy, and that's to take out the runner. When the ball is given, stop the extra man being created by the give and go. But referee Mangan quickly in to discourage that sort of activity.
Yellow card then goes to the down defender, the centre half, Aidan O'Prey. Referee Aidan Mangan, referee Dublin and Laois, and this was very much his style. Let the players play, but also be very strict on anything untoward, and that's what he's proved on that occasion. The first yellow card of the day goes to the down centre half. The free will be taken by Peter Canavan, about 47 metres out, and towards the square it drops. Man was in the square, decides the referee, and the players can't really argue because he's standing there beside them. Good work yet again as Down try and play the way out of trouble. Martin Cole, just look at that three. Tyrone players robbed him, given to Canavan, flicked out towards the number 12, that is Kevin Hughes, and that's the persistence of Tyrone robbing the down defender and resulted in Tyrone taking the lead for the third time.
The last attempt that Ronan Murta had came from a very laboured build out from the down defence. They got away with it that time, but these thrown forwards work very, very hard when they haven't got the ball. Although funny enough, I thought Peter Canavan was in a better position than Kevin Hughes there, and Hughes actually did very well to get a score after being turned round. He's playing at full forward now. Peter Canavan is roaming out to the left corner, and Enda McGinley's inside. Owen Mulligan playing out around the middle of the field, hoping to latch on the ball and maybe create chances for the inside line.
Michael McVeigh drives it out in the middle of the field. It appeared as if John Labrie is being held. Ball touched on the ground by Declan McCrossan. Conor Gormley seems to have picked up an injury. Ball played far too quickly there by Ronan Murta. Tyrone defence slowly coming to terms with the youthful down attack, and a bit of hesitation allowed the point scorer Hughes to get away. Throws it in towards McGuigan. McGuigan had so much space that that ball was allowed to bounce in front of him. Still he got it. Back it comes to Hughes. There's a man inside if he can get to him. He can. As Cormac McAnallen yet again McVeigh to the rescue, and in their eagerness Down give it away. Brian Dooher throws it back in, and what could have been a goal, Tyrone had to be content with the point, but after the great save by McVeigh, Down just gave the ball away. Yes, give the ball away too easy coming out of defence. McGuigan here, and it was Cormac McAnallen, another midfielder, loose inside, and it was a good save by McVeigh. He was out very quickly, spread himself well. Here we see it, the pass in from Hughes. Hughes has had an impact in his last few minutes. McAnallen never stopped to look, think, just turned, swiveled and hit it, and it was then after that that the Down defence gave the ball away and conceded what was an easy score to Brian Dooher. Michael McVeigh, Down saviour for the second time, drives it out. Breaking ball is collected again by Tyrone. That time it was Philip Jordan. Quickly driven ball in towards Canavan. The Down defender all over him.
The screw is beginning to tighten, Jimmy. The Tyrone defence are dealing reasonably well with the Down attack. Their midfield are starting to edge it through breaks, and the forward line are just starting to churn out scores, keeping the scoreboard ticking over.
Martin Cole, the Down defender, was claiming that his jersey was held by Peter Canavan, but if it was, Peter Canavan's been around too long to let the referee see it. The Tyrone bench looking satisfied with what has gone on. Father Gerard McAleer, co-manager there with Mickey Hart. Peter Canavan then, the Tyrone captain, on the 13-metre line. Almost halfway through this first half. Peter Canavan, one of the few players who can take frees out of his hands, as he showed there. And halfway through the first half, Tyrone get their first score from a free. It's Peter Canavan's second of the day, and Tyrone lead by 5 points to Down's 2.
A team score, this ball contested in the middle of the field. The break one, the foul, the free into Canavan. Martin Cole reckons he bought the foul, but then he scored the conversion.
Our text number for all those interested in sending it in: 07764 355 202. And even at this early stage, there's a lot to talk about. That look from here as if it was a push by Cormac McAnallen. Declan McCrossan gets it across to Brian McGuckin. McGuckin immediately feeds it to the man on the overlap. Another lovely ball played in this time. Enda McGinley gets away, faced by Burns, tries to get out, hooks it with the right foot and puts it wide. 19 minutes gone. Tyrone register their first wide. A lot of gaps, Peter.
Yes, the Tyrone players just at the minute. Down will be hoping that this won't continue, but clean catch in the middle of the field, ball laid back to the centre half, good pass into McGuigan, wing half back on by him, good ball into McGinley. It was, apart from the finish, it was copybook stuff. Down cannot allow that to happen. Down have to disrupt, they have to slow the thing down, they have to put pressure on. They can't allow this talented Tyrone team to run at them and run through them.
Noticeable that Paddy Rourke, the Down manager, was down behind Michael McVeigh's goal as Cormac McAnallen keeps the pressure on the middle of the field with that lovely catch. Now it's Declan McCrossan spreading the ball away out towards Kevin Hughes, but not even the speed of the Collegial man could catch that one. Little time for the Down defence to get their breath as Alan Malloy from Loughlin Island, number 7 on his back, but playing in the right half back position, throws it in high towards Walsh, broken away by Dermot Carlin. Down, get it back again. Coulter off the outside of the right foot. That's a lovely ball. The right half, John Lavery. Lavery got 2 points, remember, against Monaghan, coming from deep. And he certainly allowed an opportunity for Gregory McCartan to open his account. And this would be more within Gregory McCartan's range and certainly with his legging.
Well, John Lavery was certainly going to make some ground there, Jimmy. As soon as he got the ball, he put it under his arm and he ran about 7 or 8 steps and then accepted a foul, a silly foul, a cheap free from Brian Dooher.
Easily tapped over by McCartan. Downing's 3rd point, it's their 2nd from frees. And it's Greg McCartan's 7th point in this year's championship.
This was more to his liking. This was a simple tap over for him. That gets him off the mark. Down have scored 2 points from frees.
Greg McCartan, All-Star and dual All-Ireland winner in 91 and 94. But it's still nice to get a nice easy free over the bar, Peter.
Yes, it might help him in the middle of the field now too.
Buoyed up by that. Back come Down again. Nice movement through the middle. Player taken out and down he goes. Broken down again. The opportunity failed to Ronan Sexton, but the Tyrone defence proved capable once again as Sean Kavanagh indulges in a little bit of trickery in the middle of the field. Gregory McCartan informed by the referee that he's got a tick against his name. The flick inside by McGinley beat everyone, including Peter Canavan. And now Down try and build it up again. No histrionics this time, driven away by Gregory McCartan. However, in pursuit is Philip Jordan, who sensibly plays it back to Dermot Carlin. Owen Mulligan, the corner forward, he's on the 70 yards from his own goal. What a ball, beautiful ball, flighted into the path of Kavanagh, accepted by Kavanagh and chipped over the bar for a 2nd point. That was a brilliant pass, acknowledged by Kavanagh and expertly finished.
Yes, Owen Mulligan showing that he's not just a scorer of goals and points, but that delivery in over the defender's head. And in fact, that time Kavanagh had ghosted forward, but he had been covered by the defender, but the ball was so good it beat them both. And let's face it, this started from the other end with a great bit of defending by Philly Jordan, blocking the ball and collecting it.
Certainly a lot of things to be talked about in the Down dressing room at half time. Number one, primarily the ease with which some of the forwards are being found as McVeigh drives it along again. Better work from McCartan. Liam Doyle plays it in long. Chris Lawn's there, so is Don Gordon. Expert work by Lawn. Now the linesman has given it, but I think when we see it, we'll see that Lawn flicked it off Don Gordon's feet, and that's why Chris Lawn is quite insistent that it was his. And he's right, referee changed his mind. Once again, Tyrone, plenty of time in the ball. Philip Jordan feeds it into McCrossan. Driven ball. This time, better work by Alan Malloy. Came away from Mulligan. The drop kick used by Down this year, more than any other team I've seen for quite a long time. and wins a free because the ball was touched on the ground.
Again, these are simple enough frees that Down are winning inside. It's keeping them in the game, Jimmy. Tyrone are playing very, very well. They've played very, very well for their 6 scores, and Down have got a couple of handy frees.
Liam Doyle steps forward. Young man from Leitrim Fontenoys, captain of the Down minor team, which won the All-Ireland minor title in 1999. Steadies himself. Pops it over again. Liam's second score of the afternoon. And now there's just 2 points between the sides, despite the fact, Peter, that Tyrone certainly appear to be the superior team.
Yes, Tyrone are the slicker team. They've had most possession, but just those couple of little mistakes at the back have allowed Down to stay in touch.
3 of the Downs scores have come from free kicks. 2 from Liam Doyle, 1 from Gregory McCartan, as Eugene McKenna, despite the disguise, looks over this field, which he graced on many occasions. Jack number crossing, collects it again. Duher, beaten by the little punch, but still it remains in Tyrone's possession.
Declan McCrossan at centre half back, Jimmy, has got his hands on some ball at this stage. Stepping back from the midfield, always available, and has used it quite well on most occasions.
Good work that time by Coulter. Down had possession. Whether they retained or not remains to be seen. Cleverly worked between McManaman and Lawn. McManaman acknowledged that little flick down by Lawn as the ball is flicked on again by Mulligan. Down defence, putting themselves under a lot of pressure again, and continue to do so. Now can Canavan punish? The crowd watches, so does Maggie McVeigh, and the McGinley's under it. Maggie McVeigh, ever alert, great work. And for the 3rd time inside the space of a minute, this Down defence is getting themselves in all sorts of bother.
Yes, I suppose that is one difference between the teams at this stage. The Tyrone defence are very efficient when they get the ball. The Down defence, on the other hand, this is Peter Canavan. The Down defence, on the other hand, they're laboured coming out, Jimmy. They're giving the Tyrone forwards an opportunity to tackle them. And after a brilliant catch by Michael McVeigh, he very nearly allowed the Tyrone forwards in on an open goal.
And it ended up there in a nice little friendly embrace between Michael McVeigh and the Tyrone captain Peter Canavan. Michael McVeigh, who was in goals when the sides met in the 96 final. Collected by McCartan. Liam Doyle back to help out. Driven ball again. This time Dan Gordon on the overlap gets it, gives it to another player on the overlap. It's the corner forward who's held up, and yet again Tyrone giving away these silly little frees. Declan McCrossan's in there, back is Kevin Hughes, and people are getting involved, but should be doing the sensible thing and staying out of it, as Ran McManaman lies on the ground while the referee is in there to stop all this nonsense.
Yes, Down, I'm quite sure, Jimmy, would like the temperature to be raised. A bit more of a physical battle. Tyrone, on the other hand, need to keep playing football. Funny, the pass there, Jimmy, caused them problems. Not as slick. If the pass had been to the stomach, into his, he didn't have to concentrate so much on catching it, they would have got a point without the foul. But there's no doubt about the foul.
No, in fact, if the referee looks at the video replay, would see that Conor Gormley certainly appeared to strike. He probably was trying to go for the ball, but he certainly raised his fist. And the referee's going in to consult his linesman as we look at it again.
Yes, they're a little afters from the Down corner forward, and he had actually bought the foul, Jimmy, by holding on to Ryan McManaman's arm. Ronan Murta again cute in doing that.
So all eyes on the referee. Calling the Down player back. Corner forward Ronan Sexton. So remember that the umpires haven't got the benefit of video action replays, but they certainly seem to have got that right.
And does that mean a throw up now, Jimmy? An expensive one for Down if it is.
So Roland Sexton becomes the second down player, and even worse for Down, it means that they lose this relatively easy free, and the Tyrone defence will have plenty of time to gather themselves, and they do. Sean Kavanagh gives it to Jordan. So a costly reflex punch there by the corner forward, and the jersey being held, and the referee is letting the players know in no uncertain terms that he's certainly missing absolutely nothing. Brian McGuckin out to Canavan, turns, twists, lovely double jink, turns with the right foot, and just to show that he's mortal, puts it to the left. That was a lovely cameo of Peter Canavan. That little jinx on the wing was absolutely a treat.
Even before the ball came in, Jimmy, he was working extremely hard. That was his third run. He went that way, he came back towards us here in the comedy position, and then he went out again. And then when he got on the ball, had the skill and the poise to get himself enough room for a shot. Unsuccessful on that occasion.
Paddy O'Rourke, PJ McGee, all of the selectors in deep consultation. Some subs warming up along the line. So with his side trailing by 2 points, Paddy will be trying to rectify things as the entrended pastor Ronan Murda finds him being put under all sorts of pressure as Chris Long comes back and sweeps up again. The old campaigner, that's a silly foul. That's a silly foul. Sean Ward pleading his innocence, but I think it was frustration more than anything else.
Well, it was a kick more than anything else, Jim.
Yeah, it certainly was.
He's protesting his innocence, but will he get a...
Things getting slightly hot and heavy out there. Sean Ward, the down captain, their third yellow card. As I said, people getting involved who shouldn't really be involved. That time it was John Lavery. Brian Duher back, another little move aside as Tyrone players begin to tumble. Brian Duher displaying all the skills of a Spanish matador there as he slipped that tackle. Sean Kavanagh crossing the 45, gives it to McAnallen, now the man on the burst. Conor Gormley drives it between the posts. Vintage Tyrone, and very noticeable that there was a lot of the young players who were involved there. Sean Kavanagh, Conor Gormley, and Gormley finished it off with style.
Yes, taking the ball at pace on the burst. The defence just opened up for him. It's like the amazing thing about this half, Jimmy, is the fact that Tyrone have played so well at times, and there's still only 3 points between the teams. I'd say with 3 or 4 minutes to go to half time plus injury time, Down wouldn't be that unhappy.
A big crowd in the McGrean stand and all around St Chainas Park in Clonus, watching now as Tyrone attempt to turn the screw. Ryan McManaman commits the foul. Referee asks for the ball to be moved forward, is it? No, just ask the player to hurry up and take this sideline free almost. Liam Doyle puts it in towards Roland Sexton. Sexton gives it out to Walsh. Walsh immediately put under pressure. 1, 2, 3 Tyrone players on the line as Down are forced outfield again. Goes back to Brian Burns. Burns has played midfield for Down and for his club. Pops it over the bar. So the big journey from the full back line was well worth it. And needless to say, that's Brian Burns' first score in the championship this year.
Great strike with the outside of the boot. Again, Down allowed to build out there. Maybe Tyrone in covering the house, watching for the high ball into Dan Gordon and getting bodies in there.
That'll certainly please all the members of the Bransford Club who are here today. Huge contingent of Down supporters sporting their flags and jerseys all around the square and St Chainas Park and in Clonus this morning. Mulligan on the wing, gives it to Canavan. Little bit of interplay there. Shaves the inside of the post. And the teacher in Holy Trinity, Crickstown, gives it to his former pupil, and he can get no greater tribute than to say that the young pupil is now playing like his master. Great score from Mulligan, expertly set up.
Yes, and McGinley started that move with a break in the middle of the field, Jimmy. He's now been marked by John Clark, so that's how Brian Burns found himself further out from goal and in a position to take a shot. But Tyrone took that score with almost consummate ease, whereas Down seemed to have to work very hard to get their score and are hoping for a free a lot of the time.
That's exactly the difference between the sides. Tyrone move like a well-oiled machine at times. Minors and under 21 titles all come to fruition as Cormac McAnallen, the man who lifted the All-Ireland under 21 title twice and the All-Ireland Minor Championship trophy as well. Excellent catch, well taken by Cole. Much better. Down, moving it out again. McCartan still managed to get the pass in. Excellent ball, finds its way to Ronan Murda. Murda moving at speed, jinxing his way through, shrugs off McManaman, feeds it back to Doyle, and Doyle pops it over. That's an excellent score for Down. Timing absolutely perfect. 33 and a half minutes gone in the first half. They reduce the margin to 2 points.
Dan Gordon got a great score early on, but this is probably Down's best team score, Jimmy. A great take by Martin Cole inside from a wayward ball. Ball moved the whole way up the field. Sean Ward in the middle of the field did particularly well to thread the ball through to Ronan Murta, and from then on Down were on the offensive, and when it got to Liam Doyle's hands, he made no mistake.
Liam Doyle's third point, his first from play. Breaking ball again, favours Tyrone. Brian McGuckin back there picking up the pieces. The gap between the midfield and the full forward line being exploited by Mulligan. Mulligan turns with the right foot. The crowd like it. The umpires check, but the referee has noticed something in the middle of the field. So it's a free for Down. No score. Michael Walsh is under. Lovely flick inside into the path of Brendan Coulter. Coulter shouted by Gormley, gets away from Gormley, sprints in along the end line, thought about playing it out, shoots goal! What a response from Down! The young lions of the Mourne County, and once Coulter shook off Conor Gormley, he certainly only had one thing in his mind. What a finish!
Yeah, showed his strength here, showed his strength when he got the ball, shook off Conor Gormley, but still he had an awful lot of work to do. No angle in there, was allowed to come outside, should have been shown the inside track where he was going nowhere, stepped outside, and then it was a chance of getting the shot, and he was so close to the keeper. John Devine had little chance. Benny Coulter into the game with a bang. This is exactly what Down needed just going into the break. Haven't played all that well at times, but are very much in the game now.
Paddy O'Rourke couldn't hide his delight. We're going to have a throw ball, and you couldn't have better timing for a goal, Peter.
Yes, and it'll be the perfect lift as they go into the changing rooms and review the first half and set their plan out for the second half. Put a bit of doubt in Tyrone's mind. That's what they wanted. They didn't want Tyrone to get away from them. They didn't want to give them any encouragement, and that's exactly the scenario at half time.
And that time the breaking ball favoured Down. Down went McCartan, and McCartan retaliated. Now McCartan was shouldered off the ball by Brian McGuigan, and he retaliated by throwing the ball at him, and Down have got the boost of the goal, but that show of impetuous by Gregor McCartan resulted in a straight red. So from the heights of joy to the depths of despair, and here it is again. McGuigan, in the view of the referee it appeared to be, got himself ever so slightly involved. It was the foot trip actually. So down to 14 men. Paddy McCartan has a few words of comfort with Gregor McCartan.
Chris Lawn just can't believe what has happened here in his race for the ball with Dan Gordon. There was a trip, accidental, Chris Lawn would suggest, and now Down have been presented with another scoring opportunity in injury time in the first half. It's the highs and the lows at this stage. A goal, a sending off, and now hopefully from a Down point of view, Liam Doyle will put this over the bar.
Down 1-6. Tyrone 8 points. Both sides guilty of not keeping their heads. Now can Liam Doyle capitalise? He certainly can. 1-7 to Down. Flags defiantly held all around St. Chearnas Park and Clones. Tyrone 8 points. Chris Lawn could talk himself into the referee's book, because one thing the referee has shown is that he's prepared to take no nonsense. So both sides trooping off the field. There'll certainly be a lot to talk about in the dressing rooms. There'll be a lot to talk about at half time. There's the free there. That's what it all started at. Gregory McCartan lost the head, and off the ball we can see other players getting tangled. So it'll be up to the respective managers to get their sides to cool down as they troop off at half time. Down leading thanks to that goal by Brendan Coulter by a goal and 7 points to 8 points.
Okay, as the halftime kids go off the pitch, we will see the big boys play in the second half, the last 35 minutes of the Ulster Centenary Championship final. Back to you, Jimmy.
31,590 people have packed into St. Chearnas Park and Clones. This enthralling second half is about to get underway. The big question is, can the 14 men of Down overcome the 15 of Tyrone, as Brian McGuigan picks it up, hits the ground, and just as in the first half, Down won a few easy frees at this end, so Tyrone have started the second half in exactly the same fashion.
Yes, the adjustments that have been made. Benny Coulter has come into the middle of the field for Down, and that mightn't be a bad thing, Jimmy. And Declan McCrossan has elected to become the extra man for Tyrone, and he's holding the position in front of the Down two-man full forward line.
Peter Canavan off the outside of the right foot, shows the loss of a left-footed free taker for Tyrone.
Yes, that would have been one for Stephen O'Neill, but it's a high-risk strategy. Peter Canavan can do that with the outside of his boot, but it's a very, very, very difficult skill, at the very top of the ladder in terms of skill.
Tyrone's third wide of the game. Down had 3 also in the first half. Michael McVeigh, long run up, even longer kick out. Lovely catch, beautiful take by Burns. Sean Ward, the Down captain, takes it quickly to man the overlap. Ronan Sexton from Mayo Bridge, steady strikes, and just it drifts to the right. So an opportunity for Down then.
Yes, and against this extra man, Down are going to have to do one of two things. They're either going to have to do what Ronan Sexton done there, run at the Down or the Tyrone defence, keeping the ball, not giving it away, and then getting in shots from distance, or making sure that when they are playing in ball, they don't kick it down the throat of the extra man. He really only becomes very, very effective when you kick the ball at him. So a much more measured approach required from Down now.
Down, pick it up in the shape of Aidan O'Prey. Nice flick inside, plenty of space, chance, room again, drilled into the back of the net. Leighton Fontenoy's come awake in Clones. Liam Doyle, 3 points in the first half, a goal in the second, and the young lads of Down are really putting it up to the National League holders, Tyrone.
Yes, now we said running at them, Benny Coulter a better option in the middle of the field perhaps, running at them very strong there, good vision and a great finish from Doyle. Great run by Coulter here, shrugged off the challenge of Philip Jordan and then had the composure to play it in. He had actually 2 men available, running at them, as Paddy O'Rourke obviously feels will pay dividends.
Certainly Paddy O'Rourke shown as much excitement as a manager as he did when he was a player, and Liam Doyle saw the whole goal gaping in front of him and gave John Devine no chance at all. Well.
You come out of the change rooms after half time, Jimmy, looking for a boost, looking for a lift, and certainly Down have got that.
Chris Lawn gives Declan McCrossan an awful lot of work to do. Now Down had a big test when they got Gregory McCartan sent off, but this is a big test for Tyrone. They've come into this match today as everybody's favourites. Mickey Hurt tried to talk them down, but there was no way that they could be viewed as anything other than favourites. They had won the National League, they had won their replay against Derry at a canter, they eased away past Antrim, and they came up against this very young Down side, and how Down advanced them.
Yes, Down, or Tyrone in the first half, Jimmy, despite all the slick football they were playing, they just couldn't get away from Down. They missed a couple of goal chances and then left themselves vulnerable at the back because they hadn't pushed on ahead. And now suddenly this is a different ball game for them.
Driven out again. Same result, collected by Down. Now can Down keep the pressure on as the referee signals he didn't appear to see it. The young Michael Walsh felt that he'd been fouled as that ball ran over the sideline. Chris Lawn leaves it. Brian McMahon comes across. Now can Tyrone keep their composure? Referee decides the kick was taken too quickly, so they'll have a hot ball,
or possibly too short a distance, to me, which results in the penalty for that is a lose possession.
Seamus McCormick from Meath is a linesman over there. Ball played back to the man in space. Now all Down need to do is to top over a couple of points, and this will really be a tester. Gordon's under, back in the net, it goes again. This is shades of 1999 all over again. Tyrone came to Casement Park ready to sweep aside the young Down side. They were all over in the first half. Down brought it back to 2 points at the half time, and then with 2 goals in the second half swept Tyrone out of the Ulster Championship. Are they about to do the same again? The scoreline unbelievably reads 3-7 to Down, 8 points to Tyrone.
This is just a high ball in, a speculative shot that didn't go all the way, and Dan Gordon turned it into the perfect score. Great flick, John Devine stead on his line and had no chance.
So the 14 men of Down have certainly given their answer. Now what can the 15 men of Tyrone do? Brian Dooher left-footed ball into the middle. The passes which were finding their men unerringly in the first half are now being swept up by jerseys belonging to the men in red and black. That time it was Alan Malloy, and Down doing the sensible thing, steadying it down. Peter Canavan, he's shouting instructions to the players out the field. Michael McVeigh has come away off his line. Tyrone are trying to bring on a substitute. The number 18 is Kieran Gurley. The man from the Rock is replacing Declan McCrossan. Now McCrossan had an excellent first half, Peter.
Yes, but they obviously feel at this stage that Kieran Gurley is going to be a better player as the extra man in that defence. Although you'd have thought Declan McCrossan could have gone forward with purpose, knowing he has a tendency to do that.
So on comes Gurley. He's a sub for Chris Lawn early in the championship. McVeigh drives it long, a little push by Ward. The kick went in from Ronan Sexton, but with a free out for Tyrone. Foul on Kavanagh. James McCartan is making his way up and down the sideline. Whether he'll be coming on or not remains to be seen, but it just shows you the options that Down have. Is this quickly taken free by Philip Jordan? Sees Dooher foul. Quickly taken ball around McManaman. McManaman on the burst. Play allowed to continue. Cormac and Allen loses out. Tries to get it again. Gets it off the ground. Feeds it back. But now all the pressure is certainly on Tyrone as Down try to keep after him. But can Brian McGuigan engineer a score? Had a chance to take a shot. Plays it out the man in a better position. That's Philip Jordan. Jordan is blocked. And away come Down again. That's number 15 Ronan Murda being tackled by Tyrone's 15 Owen Mulligan, and a long relieving ball out of defence almost found its way to Liam Doyle, but the shot from Brian McGuigan is met with derisory cheers from the Down supporters.
Yes, 12 Down men, Jimmy, back in their own half there, working very hard. Tyrone maybe a little anxious to get the score, running at them, running into them, and Down's strength standing them in good stead. But then at the end of that move exactly what Tyrone don't want. Brian McGuigan, as Peter Canavan probably pointed out to him as he walked by, having a shot to nothing. They don't need that. They need to use the possession they have. It's double scores at the minute, and they need to get a score on the board. They haven't scored in the second half.
And once again, 14 men doing all they can to thwart. What a catch! Brilliant take by Liam Doyle. Fed into Michael Walsh, the class of 99. The ball played inside the Coulter. This will be the score of the game, and it is! Brilliant score! Magnificently finished by Brendan Coulter. The Miners of 99 are certainly showing their promise in St James Park and Clonus. Down 3-8, Tyrone 8 points.
Yes, and the freedom that now Benny Coulter has in the middle of the field, his strong running, his tendency to go forward, being shown perfectly there with what was a left-footed finish. That was some move. That was just Doyle into the clouds from wing half forward, and then a measured ball he played in. Again, not kicking it aimlessly to Michael Walsh, and Walsh then making sure that there was a score at the end of it.
First touch for Kieran Gurley. Plays it inside to Conor Gormley. Gurley gets it back again. Brian McGuigan, son of Frank McGuigan from Arbo, makes his way down the far side. Stumbles but still keep possession. Canavan's there. And this is certainly a time for the old heads to rule. Kevin Hughes off the outside of the right foot. Owen Mulligan's under, so is Mickey McVeigh. McVeigh fouled in the square, decides the referee. And McVeigh calls immediately for the ball, steadies things down, and certainly he's trying to get revenge for 96.
Yes, all very laboured now by Tyrone. The slow attack, a lot of passes, allowing down players to get behind the ball, and they dealt with what was appeared to be an awkward position there quite comfortably before they were given the free out.
Paddy O'Rourke walks the sideline. The man who certainly knows how to walk the walk as well as talk the talk, and he's been very good at talking this down team down. But I know that he will see this here as a job well done as Tyrone forced backfield again. McGuigan gives it into Conor Gormley. Gormley is fouled. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Tyrone have yet to score. In fact, Tyrone haven't scored since the 34th minute of the first half. Referee going in pursuit. Going to have a word with one of the down players. It looks like Ronan Murda. A yellow card it is. Canavan gets it, spins away, feeds it to the man in the overlap. Kavanagh off the post, back to Canavan, turns, down he goes. We've got a penalty. We've got a penalty.
Peter Canavan started this with a great pass to Sean Kavanagh, always thinking of a goal. Kavanagh's ball came back off the crossbar, and as Peter Canavan collected it, he was spun to the ground, or that's what the referee decided. No, Jay, it was a great save by Michael McVeigh actually to palm it onto the crossbar, and there was the pull that landed Canavan down. So who do Tyrone look to when they're in serious trouble? Peter Canavan.
If ever there was a big kick for anybody, it's for Peter Canavan. Now in his championship career he scored 6 goals and 147 points, and I dare say that this is probably his most important kick. He's facing Michael McVeigh, all 6'3" from Castlewellan. Canavan strikes, puts him the wrong way. So the boost comes for Tyrone. Canavan was coolness personified, and now the sides are separated by 2 goals.
Right from the minute he got the ball, the breakdown from Enda McGinley, this was going to be the result. He played in Sean Kavanagh, that didn't work. He got the rebound himself, was fouled, and then that's probably the best penalty we've seen all year. Coolly sent the keeper the wrong way into the top right hand side.
Ball out in the middle of the field again. Now Tyrone have got their downers up as Kavanagh goes through the middle. Brian McGuigan on his own, pops it over. It's wonderful what a score can do.
Good possession, one in the middle of the field, and before Down could get back to get organised and get bodies behind the ball, Brian McGuigan gets the ball over the bar.
James McCartan comes onto the field. He's scored in each of his games this year. Ronan Murda, he makes his way up. And if Down need an enigmatic or charismatic figure on the field, Peter, they've certainly got one now.
Yes, we talked about him coming on as a substitute against Fermanagh, and he was magnificent in all the things he did, and he will be trying to do the same now again.
Brian McGuigan appeared to touch on the ground. Now it's McManaman as Tyrone's turn to buzz. The pass inside to McGinley. Michael McVeigh steadies the ship again, settles everything down. Trying to do the sensible thing, hold it up. Walsh just didn't get the first touch. Ball goes over the line. Sideline ball for Tyrone with 15 minutes gone as Michael Walsh has picked up a little bit of an injury. And Down give away the free, much to the annoyance of Sean Ward. Kavanagh's in, and it's almost a double thing because as he fell on the ball, Sean Kavanagh fell on him, and that has probably affected his ribs. In fact, the young Mayo Bridge player is holding his left shoulder, his left upper arm.
Yes, he looks in a lot of pain, Jimmy, but this is probably what Down needed at this stage, was something to break this momentum that Tyrone have built up since the penalty. Again, responsibility here with Peter Canavan to reduce the deficit even further.
Peter Canavan, score of a penalty a moment ago, now pops it over the bar. A golden 3 points to Canavan. Tyrone 110, Down 3-8, 17 points to 13. 16 minutes gone in the second half of this Ulster final in the centenary year of the Ulster Council, and they're certainly living up to his pre-match expectations.
Yes, and the sun comes out in Clonus, and it's almost as if it's promising us a tremendous last 20 minutes. You get the feeling, Jimmy, that the game's there to be won by either side. If Down can engineer a score every so often to keep them noses in front, Tyrone would feel that they have the potential to get scores if they get possession.
Down get possession again, quickly played forward. McCartan goes down, holds the ball up, gives it into Walsh. Walsh tried the impossible, but somehow it managed to get its way to a Down jersey. McCartan making himself available and busy as usual, taken out of the game. The ball collected in there by the substitute, or not the substitute, Dermot Carlin, who was an early replacement for the full-back Collie Holmes. So Tyrone win a free. Referee has a little word with his linesman Seamus McCormick. Tyrone take it quickly. Gurley to Jordan. Ryan McManaman. Tyrone trying to make this extra man work as their half-back line combines. Down finding it very difficult to compete with him on the overlap. Jordan strikes, drives it over. But of Jordan's first score of the championship.
That's 4 scores in a row for Tyrone, Jimmy. A goal and 3 points, which has reduced the deficit now to just the 3. Great move this. Possession kept. A half-back getting forward to create the extra man, and a goal on his mind there. That was a percentage shot at the crossbar. And it's about...
But of Jordan's first score of the championship.
That's 4 scores in a row for Tyrone, Jimmy. A goal and 3 points, which has reduced the deficit now to just the 3. Great move this. Possession kept. A half-back getting forward to create the extra man, and a goal on his mind there. That was a percentage shot at the crossbar. And I suppose, unfortunately for Philly Jordan, it just whistled over the bar. It was a good effort.
Down need a score. Liam Doyle was there. Tyrone hands go up appealing. The referee is going to call for a through ball.
That last score of Tyrone's, Jimmy, by Philly Jordan, it came actually from a ball that James McCartan gave to Michael Walsh. He tried to play it inside Tyrone and worked it too high. Possession given away, and Tyrone will punish them if they give away possession.
Tyrone winner free again. Brian McGuigan, Cormac McAnallen, Mulligan. Tyrone have retained their poise and their swagger. Now can they register another point? Mulligan gives it out again to Kevin Hughes. A little turn the jigs by Hughes. Good work by the down defence. Getting back in numbers, but still Tyrone poor forward. Brian Dooher going through the middle, loses it, and in to rectify the situation was Andy McGinley. Excellent work by the down defence. Michael Walsh, young Mayo Bridge player, drills it down the gap. Dan Gordon needed to keep possession. Chris Lawn was behind him. Lawn in a hurry. Cormac McAnallen, Ryan McManaman. Tyrone moving menacingly at the moment. They just need to register scores as Canavan gets away on one wing, and on the other wing it's Owen Mulligan. Mulligan turns inside and kicks it over the bar. The confidence, the poise has returned, Peter. That's their 5th score in a row.
Yes, Jimmy, but that started from a ball that Dan Gordon should have held on to and maybe created something for Down. Down are going to kill themselves. They're going to choke themselves if they don't use their possession a little better. Another change on the Down team as they desperately try to hold on to possession, to try to get a score. That's 5 in a row now for Tyrone, and it really is game on.
Shane King comes on. Ronan Sexton is the man who goes to the sideline.
But I'm not sure, Jimmy, that Brian Burns and Owen Mulligan is what Down need at this stage. Brian Burns hasn't played, and funny, Down seem to have recognised that as well, and that change is being made just as we speak. Brian Burns is going out to centre half like Kevin Hughes, and John Clark has come back in to mark Owen Mulligan.
Peter Canavan and Martin Cole being spoken to, both being booked. So something was happening off the ball, which was well spotted by Aidan Mangan's umpires. 21 minutes gone in the second half, and we've had everything in the second half. We've had 2 down goals. We have another brilliant catch. That time was by Benny Coulter. Coulter is fouled. Michael Walsh thought about the quick free, but in that, Coulter's picked up an injury. One aspect of the game, Peter, has been a tremendous catching by the 2 down wing halves, Liam Doyle on one side, and this time Brendan Coulter.
Yes, well, remember now Brendan Coulter has moved into the middle of the field, but these boys are fine athletes, Jimmy, and on the perfect conditions that we have today, you'd expect to see that from them every so often. Cormac McAnallen has done the same for Tyrone, but it's more at this stage how you use that possession.
Shane King's first touch. James McCartan's outside him, and the coaching development officer in Down being helped out by James McCartan. McCartan turns and kicks it across, kicks it wide.
Yeah, and I count that 3 or 4 possessions in a row, Jimmy, that Down have got nothing from. Ended up in the corner there, really not going anywhere, and now it's Tyrone's turn with Brian McGuigan.
There's a type of play that McGuigan exploited so well for Tyrone minor and under 21 sides, being like a ball handler in basketball. He picked the ball up in his own defence. This time he's fed it through to Canavan. He's got it back again, kicked it over and kicked it to the left. That really would have been some score. Speaking to his father before the game, and his father said he was always worried about meeting Down in an Ulster final. His father, Frank McGuigan, score of 11 points here in the 84 Ulster final against Armagh. One of the greatest footballers Tyrone ever produced, and young Brian certainly following in his footsteps. They drives it out. Kevin Hughes. I think it was just the bravery of Hughes getting into the ball, and that really was silly. Free given away, then the ball was kicked away by the down player, and it's going to be moved up, and this is certainly within the range of Peter Canavan. So Canavan turns, eyes and aims the target. The crowd behind the goals are the first ones to react. They knew that it was going over. Peter Canavan, a goal and 4 points.
He certainly makes them look easy, Jimmy, but there's nothing easy out there today. Loads of commitment from both teams. It doesn't always work out exactly as they would like, but Tyrone creeping back into this game. 1 point game.
10 minutes to go. 2 points separate the sides. 3 at the down, that's 17 points. A goal and 13 to Tyrone, that's 16 points. And remember the text number 077 64 355 202, and there's certainly plenty to talk about in this second half as Brian McGuigan picks it up again. Sean Kavanagh, and Down are giving away a very silly freeze, Peter.
Yes, and it's allowing Tyrone the opportunity to build. Down just they either can't get their hands on the ball, or when they do, they're not using it as well as they might. And I must say, Brian McGuigan is reveling in the space that's afforded to him. He can go drop back, pick up ball, probe in, bring people into the play, and it seems as if maybe that ball suggests that Tyrone are going to suffer from this ailment now of giving the ball away cheaply.
Fourth wide to Tyrone. 10 minutes of normal time left on the clock at a sun-baked St. James Park in Clonus. Michael McVeigh from Castlewell. Low trajectory, driven out, picked up once again by McGuigan. Fired across the field towards end of McGinley. McGinley collects it. He has a man outside if he needs him. Down he goes and wins yet another free.
Well, Michael McVeigh's kicking has been better than average all day, Jimmy, but Down at this stage certainly didn't need a poor kick out. That's what they got, and the ball is now in, and Peter Canavan stepping forward. So he'll probably use his right foot for this, and the inside of his right foot, his preferred option. But you get the feeling that Down desperately need a score of some description if this game isn't just going to suddenly run through their fingers.
Canavan makes no mistake. The crowd below us in the McGrain stand come alive. Tyrone flags wave all around St. James Park at Clonus as their magic talisman, Peter Canavan, brings the sides level.
Peter Canavan has scored 1-5 so far. Now a lot of it has been from frees, but like some of the others, that wasn't an easy one. Down have to get their hands on the ball in the middle third of the field, be a clean catch or a break, and then they have to try to keep the ball to make sure they get a score. Chris Lawn now acting as the extra man for Tyrone. They've gone for Liam Doyle this time.
Down haven't scored since that wonder point from Brendan Coulter, and that's a long, long time ago. Tyrone, on the other hand, since then have rattled over a goal and 6 points as Down, through their centre half, Aidan O'Prey, try to force their way forward. Down to win a free, and how they wish for the services of Gregory McCartan, but instead there's why the foul was given. And now all eyes are looking upon young Liam Doyle. Liam, whose father Willie won an All-Ireland minor or All-Ireland senior medal with Down in '68. Liam followed up with a minor medal in '99. In around the square it goes this time. Tyrone, watch! It's in the net again! Unbelievably, Tyrone worked so hard to get the ball back, to strike back at this Down team, and what happens? The ball pops into the back of the net. Paddy O'Rourke can't believe it, and we'll just have to wait to see who got their fist hit, and worse than that, Tyrone have been empty to Conor Gormley.
Well, it was just a touch, nobody on the post. Now Liam Doyle didn't get the distance, but the ball was accurate. It went to the centre of the goal. Touch, just couldn't quite see who got the touch, but Mickey Linden obviously showing his delight. Paddy seems pleased as well.
He certainly is.
Now, there's been loads of questions asked of this Tyrone team today, Jimmy, and they've answered most of them so far, but with about 7 minutes to go, can they recover from this, what is literally a sucker blow? Their 7 score in a row sequence broken with a very soft goal.
Mickey Linden on. And now they're going to introduce another substitute. Patrick McCartan is about to come on. He's going to replace Michael Walsh. Well, the question will be asked as to who actually scored the goal. It appeared to me as if it was the height of Dan Gordon in there, but I can't really be too sure about that. McCartan's in there. So now it's another big question to be asked of Tyrone. Megan Allen, Chris Lawn, holder of 3 Ulster Championship medals and would dearly like to make it 4. As Tyrone win another free, Brian McGuigan is a man in a hurry. He did to move it back. Long driven ball. They're hoping for a down one. The Tyrone supporters saw the net moving, but Owen Mulligan flicked it to the outside.
And Mulligan did remarkably well here, Jimmy. Backing in, the ball going away from the goal. But somehow or other he managed to get a fist to it, a right fist. But it ended up in the side netting. But they're still alive, still kicking. 5 minutes plus injury time left. And the way they played earlier on, between the 12th and the 26th minutes, scoring 1-6, shows that they have the potential to get scores.
Chris Lawn is going off, and the man who's taking his place is number 28, Brian Robinson, from Donaghmore, an All-Star nominee last year. But all thoughts at the moment are on the scoreboard as Ryan McMahon crossed the 45-metre line. Plays it back, that time to Conor Gormley. Now it's Owen Mulligan. Mulligan shrugs off the down defender, races through Mulligan. Remember the shot at the start? This time he puts it over the bar, Mickey McVeigh's his arms outstretched.
And another Tyrone comeback has been started. This time by Owen Mulligan, drifting out, taking the ball, struggling off the marker, and then again, probably goal on his mind here for a split second. And a shot that fairly whistled over the bar.
Michael McVeigh not in a hurry. They can down get this ball in and to score again would have caused so much havoc, as Mickey Linden, whose appearance on the field was almost unnoticed, as down endeavour to give that ball away. Kieran Gurley crosses in, the ball goes over the bar, he was fouled as he kicked it, and that little bit of indecision there by Aidan O'Craig. Just when Down needed possession, as in so many occasions in the second half, they've endeavoured to give it away and let Tyrone back into the game.
Yes, he certainly needed to get his hands on the ball. Lying on the ground is very difficult to see what's around you. He attempted to flick the ball up and only succeeded in flicking it up to Gurley, who I must say, as a defender coming forward, struck that over the bar very confidently. 1 point in it.
Both sets of supporters stirring their players on. 1 point separates the side. The midfield is congested, but it's away come Tyrone again. Brian Dooher's the man in possession, gives it into Canavan. Canavan turns, tries to get away from the cornerback, hits the ground but doesn't win the free. Dooher turns inside, still keeps possession. Peter Canavan again. You just think Peter's trying to get a free in there, and he does. I think to say that was the only thing in his mind, Peter, is an understatement.
Yes, he ran into the traffic, knowing that if he got a touch at all, he was going down. Something may have happened after the free, but he's going to have to get up, and he's going to have to take this free for Tyrone.
4 additional minutes at the end of normal playing time. At least 4.
Well, the referee has informed us that at least 4 minutes of injury time will be played. Peter Canavan, he's on the ground being attended to. Takes the opportunity to take on a little drop of water at the same time. So the crowd certainly giving vent to their feelings. The Tyrone captain, the man who really brought them back in when he scored the penalty, now faces the target. Down to 4 goals and 8 points, that's 20 points. Tyrone have 1 goal and 16. Tyrone have won 16. They've now 1 goal and 17 thanks to the kick by Peter Canavan. They're level again at Clones. 34 minutes gone of normal time in the second half, plus the 4 minutes of injury time allotted by the referee.
Again, after being fouled, shook up a bit, Canavan steps up and brings the sides level. What a game for scores, Jimmy. 4-8 for Down, 117 for Tyrone. Certainly the fans have got what they look for here.
Mickey Hart, I'm sure he thought he'd seen it all before, both with Ergel Kieran, with St Kieran's Ballagolly, and with Tyrone. Down finding frees very difficult to come by, but they've 1-1 in the middle of the field. So the seconds tick away. Played in towards James McCartan. Now can McCartan do a Canavan and win a free? Mickey Linden, the class of 94, combine again. Ball played across. Brian Burns got a point in the first half. The little avenue had turned into a cul-de-sac very quickly, as Down doing the sensible thing. Try and keep possession. Shows a lot of nerves out there. There's an example of one of them. The quick kick by Aidan O'Cray. Down register their 4th wide of the second half.
Yes, they'll look back on this second half, Jimmy, and realise that when they were in a position to win the game on a couple of occasions, they couldn't translate their possession into scores. If they lose, that'll be the reason why.
James McCartan is going to get a little tick against the name, if not a yellow card. In fact, he's getting a yellow card. The cross field ball there by Philip Jordan. Managed to pick out the fellow Tyrone defender, as Tyrone move it again. Brian Robinson gives it in towards Mulligan. Mulligan has it, turns inside. He has Canavan on the outside, gives it to Canavan. Canavan steadies, kicks with the left foot, kicks it over the bar. No, in fact, the crowd behind the goal signalled it, but the most important man in St James Park in Clones, the umpire, signalled it wide. So Down live to breathe again. Shane King, and Down lose possession. Patrick McCartan gets a chance to redeem himself, and you feel there's an awful lot of nerves out there at the moment.
Yes, there's a lot of tired bodies as well, Jimmy, and with that comes poor decision making. The skill level drops a wee bit, and that's what we're seeing there. Both teams worked so hard earlier on, and it's hot out there, but now we see what Coulter can do from his midfield berth.
He was taken out as he kicked it. Possession is the name of the game. Tired legs, blocked down. The spin favours McCartan. McCartan got possession. He didn't win a free, however. Referee stands and watches it, and he gives a free out. James McCartan is not a happy man at the moment, and I don't think I can really fault him, to be honest. So all the while Benny Coulter was picked up an injury at the very start of that move. 37 and a half minutes gone. 1.5 minutes left.
And at this stage, Jimmy, you'd feel that if there is, this is again that stopping the runner didn't get that badly hit, but it went down anyway. You'd feel that Tyrone have the greater potential to use the ball and get a score. Down have had a couple of opportunities recently and haven't used the ball very well, but they'll have another goal.
And Down feel if they can get that ball in around the square. They've won a sideline. 37 minutes, 50 seconds gone. Down need possession. There's 3 Tyrone men in there. One of them comes away with the ball. Brian Dooher. Still Tyrone keep possession. Brian McGuigan, who's had a wonderful second half, gets it in. Cormac McAnallen. Philip Jordan holds it. Tyrone playing very sensible football. Brian Dooher, the man who caught the ball deep in his own defence, gives it to McGuigan. He's got the man outside him. Kieran Gurley brought to the ground on the 45-metre line. Peter Canavan, way off the ball, steadies himself, kneels down on the ground, and Brian McGuigan is holding this ball, but I don't think that he'll be the one who'll be taking it. Now, we didn't actually see that in camera, but when the free was given, Peter Canavan knelt down on the ground and just composed himself.
Yes, I think he realised at this stage, Jimmy, that he has the winning of this game in his hands. Again, not all the frees he has taken today have been easy. He goes for the quick one.
The quick one goes to the right half back. Kieran Gurley, Mulligan turn. Kevin Hughes, in fact, kicks it, but kicks it wide. Now there's 39 minutes and 8 seconds gone on the clock, and the referee said he was allowing at least 4 minutes of injury time.
And they're up there. I think the people who will be most pleased at that decision there by Peter Canavan play short to be the Ulster Council, Jimmy, because this looks like it's going to end in a draw.
All eyes on Micheál McVeigh and on the referee. The ears will be on the referee, the eyes on McVeigh. 5 Tyrone then have it. Kieran Gurley gives it into Rand McManaman. McManaman kicks it off the outside of the foot. It goes and wide. Well, if Kevin Hughes' chance looked like the last one, that certainly did appear to be it. And the referee has called for the whistle.
Replay, Bank of Ireland Ulster,
and no one was certainly leaving this pitch.
Here in Clonus next Sunday.
And the replay has been called for next Sunday. There's at least one supporter who can't believe it. But if he looks back at the video of this game, he'll realise that Tyrone came back from the dead. Remember, they'd been hit by 2 goals and a point within 10 minutes of the restart. Then when they got back to level, up popped, we think it was Dan Gordon, to put Tyrone 3 points behind again. And then thanks to that late kick by Peter Canavan, both sides finished level, and it all hinged really around the sending off of Gregory McCartan, which took place just before half time, and it certainly really threw this game in a melting pot, Peter.
Yes, I must say all credit to Tyrone. That scoring burst that they had between the 12th and the 26th minute catapulted them back into the game, and they showed character again coming back from the sucker blow, but still all to play for next day.
It certainly is. So from us in the comedy position with the score down 48, Tyrone 117, it's all to play for again.